Friends, brothers, and sisters, lend me your ears. Today, I want to talk about a revolutionary idea, a notion that has the power to reshape the very fabric of our nation. Universal Basic Income, UBI for short. Now, some folks might furrow their brows and say, Martin, isn't that just a fancy way of giving folks a handout? But let me tell you, it's far more than that. It's about building a society rooted in justice and equality, where every soul, regardless of background, has a shot at a decent life. Think about it. UBI is like a safety net, a sturdy one that catches folks before they fall into the abyss of poverty. It ensures that basic needs, food on the table, a roof overhead, are met. This, in turn, fosters dignity and respect. We're talking about treating everyone like valued members of our community, not burdens to be shouldered. Now, some might scoff and say, but Martin, won't folks just get lazy if they're guaranteed money? Well, friends, let's look at the facts. Just like that clever program in Alaska, where everyone gets a share of the oil wealth, UBI can spread prosperity like butter on warm bread. Remember the Mincome experiment in Canada? People used that guaranteed income to chase their dreams, be it higher learning or caring for loved ones. And here's the beauty of it all. A society with less financial strain means a healthier society overall. Look at the Cherokee experiment. Crime went down, folks felt better, and the whole community thrived. Finland's experiment with basic income showed the same thing. People with less stress were free to pursue their passions, becoming more engaged citizens. Let me be clear, friends, UBI isn't about creating a nation of loafers. It's about recognizing that the wealth we generate as a society should benefit everyone, not just a privileged few. Take Brazil's Bolsa Familia program. It lifted countless families out of poverty, proving that shared prosperity leads to a stronger, more vibrant nation. With UBI, basic needs are secured, freeing folks to focus on what truly matters, becoming better versions of themselves, contributing their talents to society, and driving progress forward. Now that's a dream worth fighting for, wouldn't you say?
Now listen here about this fancy notion of universal basic income. Sounds like a bunch of socialist claptrap to me. Work builds a man. You give a man a handout. Sure, he might survive, but that ain't living. That's just existing. A man finds his dignity, his purpose in honest work, putting in a hard day's sweat, seeing something real come out of nothing. That's what builds a strong character, a strong community. Look at Detroit. Those factories shut down. Folks got reliant on welfare checks. What happened? They lost their spark, their drive. A community built on handouts ain't nothing but a hollow shell. Innovation, progress. Forget about it. You take away the need to hustle, to compete, and what you got? A bunch of folks sitting on their laurels, content with just getting by. That's how the Soviets ended up. All those guarantees, no need to push themselves, and their whole damn economy went belly up. Money needs to be earned, not just given away. Otherwise, it loses its value faster than a Ford Model T with a leaky radiator. Just like what happened in Venezuela. Printing money ain't the answer. It just makes the whole system overheat and sputter out. UBI sounds like a recipe for disaster to me. We gotta focus on building a society of hard workers, innovators, folks who ain't afraid to get their hands dirty. That's the American way, and that's the only way we'll keep this country moving forward.
King, I appreciate what you are saying about UBI being a lifesaver, but you gotta admit, the whole free money thing makes you wonder. If everyone's got a guaranteed paycheck coming in, what's the incentive to, hustle? Work those overtime hours, learn a new skill? Seems kinda groovy on the surface, but we all saw what happened with unemployment during the whole COVID mess, right? People took a long vacation, if you know what I mean. So, how do we make this UBI thing work so it pushes folks to step up their game, not just phone it in?
Brothers and sisters, the dream of UBI is powerful, but some folks worry it might become a hammock, lulling folks into complacency. Well, let me tell you, we can design this program to be more like a sturdy springboard, one that launches folks into a brighter future. Here's the plan. See, number one, UBI shouldn't be a full paycheck, just a helping hand. That way, the good folks who bust their tails still have reason to chase those promotions and bigger salaries. Like a rising tide that lifts all boats, UBI lifts everyone. But it doesn't mean hard-working folks get stuck paddling in place. Number two, think of it like a sliding scale, friends. As folks earn more, their UBI support gently tapers off. No disincentive to climb the ladder of success, just a safety net below to catch them if they stumble. Now listen up. UBI shouldn't just be about survival. It should be about thriving. That's why we can link it to learning and skill building. Think of the Bolsa Familia program in Brazil. Parents got a boost for keeping their kids in school. With UBI, folks can invest in themselves, take that coding class, or finally get that welding certification they've been dreaming of. And here's the kicker. UBI can strengthen our communities too. We can offer an extra hand to folks who volunteer at the soup kitchen or help clean up the park. Building a better society takes all of us, and UBI can be the glue that binds us together. But remember, friends, this is a journey, not a destination. We gotta keep a watchful eye on UBI, make sure it's working for everyone. Just like a good mechanic tinkers with an engine, we'll fine-tune this program to make sure it keeps on fueling opportunity and keeping folks engaged in the workforce. With these strategies, UBI can be the wind beneath our wings, lifting us all to new heights of economic security and personal growth. Now that's a dream worth building, wouldn't you say?
All right, I get the dream part. UBI giving folks some breathing room to, chase that artist's life or finally write that novel. Sounds pretty darn rad. But the question is, how do we make sure this free time doesn't turn into an extended Netflix binge? You mentioned Finland doing well, but let's be honest, every program is different. Remember that UBI pilot in Stockton? Sure, some folks used it to go back to school or start a business, but let's face it, others probably just, didn't. So, what kind of guardrails do we need on this UBI thing to make sure people are putting it towards something that benefits them and the community, not just a bigger TV?
Now listen here, friends. This UBI program, it's a powerful tool, but some folks might worry it'll turn folks into couch potatoes. Well, let me tell you, we can build safeguards into this program. Safeguards that turn UBI into a launch pad, propelling folks to invest in themselves and strengthen our communities. Here's the first step. We gotta make education and skill development a win-win proposition. Remember those programs in Brazil that gave parents a little extra for keeping their kids in school? We can do the same with UBI. Folks who hit the books or take that coding class, they get a bonus. It's like a reward for investing in their future. Number two, don't you worry, UBI won't replace hard work. We can design it like a gently tapering faucet. The more folks earn on their own, the less UBI support they receive. This keeps the incentive to climb the ladder of success strong, friends. UBI's a helping hand, not a handout. And here's the beauty of it all. UBI can be the glue that binds our communities together. We can offer folks a little extra for lending a hand at the soup kitchen or cleaning up the park. It's not just about personal growth, it's about building a better future for all of us. But remember, this is a journey, not a destination. Just like a good farmer tends his crops, we gotta keep a close eye on UBI, make sure it's nourishing both individuals and our communities. We'll conduct regular checkups, see how it's impacting folks' work ethic and community involvement. We'll adjust as needed. Make sure UBI keeps on fueling personal growth and a spirit of service. With these safeguards in place, UBI can be the spark that ignites a fire in our hearts. A fire that compels us to invest in ourselves and build a stronger, more vibrant society together. Now that's a dream worth fighting for, wouldn't you say?
Doc, don't get me wrong, UBI sounds pretty darn fantastic. But you gotta figure this free money for everyone can't just appear out of thin air, right? You mentioned using a slice of the national pie, but wouldn't that likely mean higher taxes, especially hitting businesses in the wallet? We all remember what happened in France with their wealth tax, right? Supposed to be a moneymaker for social programs, but then a bunch of fancy folks just skipped town, leaving them with even less dough in the long run. So, how do we make sure this UBI thing is funded for the long haul, especially considering our ever-growing population and those boom and bust economic cycles?
Now, friends, some folks might be scratching their heads, wondering how we'll pay for this UBI dream. Well, let me tell you, there are ways to make it work, ways that are fair and just. Number one, we can tap into the riches of our own land. Think of Alaska, with its oil money flowing like a mighty river. We can use resources like that to fund UBI, creating a steady stream of support without squeezing folks with higher taxes. Number two, let's face it, friends, some folks got more than their fair share of the pie. With a little progressive taxation, we can ask those with overflowing pockets to contribute a bit more. It's like sharing the bounty more fairly, ensuring everyone gets a decent slice. And don't you worry about folks taking their money and fleeing the country. We can set reasonable rates, not scare them away like a startled flock of birds. Here's another key. Let's invest in building a stronger, more vibrant economy. By fostering innovation and promoting new ideas, we create more jobs and a bigger pot of tax revenue to go around. A rising tide lifts all boats, friends, and UBI can be the oar that keeps us rowing forward. Number four, let's be smart about how we spend, too. We already have programs to help folks in need. With UBI, we can bring these programs together like a well-organized toolbox. This cuts down on waste and ensures every dollar goes where it's needed most. And finally, friends, let's remember, we're all in this together. If we work with other nations, share ideas and close those tax loopholes, we can ensure everyone pays their fair share. It's like building a sturdy bridge across borders. Cooperation is the key. With these strategies in place, UBI can be a sustainable dream, one that weathers any storm and keeps on providing for generations to come. Now that's a future worth building, wouldn't you say?
Mr. Ford, we hear you loud and clear about the importance of work ethic. But what about folks stuck in low-wage jobs, struggling to make ends meet, let alone afford childcare or training? A guaranteed income, similar to the earned income tax credit that incentivizes work, could provide a safety net. With that security, they could focus on education and training, ultimately leading to better jobs and a stronger work ethic for everyone. After all, a healthy and productive workforce benefits businesses too. Wouldn't you agree?
Now, I hear some folks are worried about those folks stuck in low-paying jobs. Well, there's a difference between a handout and a helping hand. That their earned income tax credit. That's an idea I can get behind. Gives a fella a little something extra to get back on his feet. Enough to pay for that child care. Maybe some night classes to learn a new skill. Education, that's the key. You see, a man gotta have something to strive for. Something to keep them reaching higher. Just giving them money. That just makes them soft. But a little boost, a safety net while they better themselves. That's the American way. Look at that there right program. Millions lifted out of poverty. You say, now that's what I'm talking about. Getting folks back on their feet, but still keeping them in the game. A man with a full belly and a clear head. That's a man who can work hard and contribute. These fancy schools and businesses, they benefit too. A healthy worker, a worker with a future. That's good for everyone. A man who knows he can provide for his family. He's gonna put his back into his work. That's for sure. So, let's give folks a chance to climb the ladder, not just a handout to sit on the porch. That's the kind of support that builds a strong economy, a strong community. Now that's a plan I can get behind.
So you're worried about this UBI thing killing innovation? I hear ya, but what if it actually cranks creativity up to 11? Think about all these talented folks stuck in dead-end jobs just to make ends meet. With a basic income, they could finally ditch the grind and chase their dreams. After all, history's full of amazing artists and entrepreneurs who were flat broke in their prime. Finland even did this whole experiment where they gave people money, and guess what? They didn't just blow it all on pizza. They used it as a safety net to take risks and try new things. Wouldn't having a wider range of people out there tinkering and inventing lead to a way more exciting and innovative economy? Just saying.
Now, some folks are spouting off about this basic income, letting people follow their crazy dreams and invent the next big thing. Well, that's a bunch of hooey if you ask me. Sure, maybe a fellow with a full belly might have some time to tinker around in his shed. Maybe he comes up with something useful, a newfangled gadget or whatnot. But that ain't guaranteed, not by a long shot. Look, that there Finland experiment gave folks a handout and said, go forth and invent. Did they invent nothing? Not much of a change, that's for sure. And that artist fella, what's his name, found something or other. Starved himself half to death. And what did he paint? Pretty pictures, sure, but did he put food on his family's table? Not likely. Now, I ain't saying we shouldn't support folks with real talent. A true inventor, a genuine artist, they deserve a shot. But just throwing money at everyone, that's a waste of good resources. What we need is a system that rewards hard work and real ideas. Help the folks who got the gumption to get out there and make something happen. That's how you build a strong, innovative country, not by giving everyone a hammock to nap in.
All right, I get it. Inflation's a real worry with this UBI thing. But here's the thing, why just throw money at it like there's no tomorrow? We can be smarter than that. Remember Finland's experiment? They figured out how to fund that whole basic income thing by, get this, shuffling some existing taxes around. No crazy money printing involved. We gotta learn from their mistakes, not Venezuela's, right? Think of UBI as an investment in our future, like building a bridge or something. A well-designed program could create a strong, innovative society where everyone has a shot at being a part of it. Wouldn't that be worth a little financial reshuffling?
All right. So maybe there's something to this fancy UBI talk, but only if we do it the right way. None of that crazy money print in business that got Venezuela in a heap of trouble. See, that there Finland experiment, that's the kind of thinking I like. Take the money we already got flowing around, use it smart, and give folks a chance to better themselves. That's an investment, not a handout. Think about it. A man with a little security, they ain't afraid to take a chance, learn a new skill, maybe even invent something useful. All those folks stuck in dead-end jobs, who knows what they're capable of if we just give them a little breath and room. This ain't about giving everyone a free ride. This is about building a stronger, smarter America. A country where everyone has the chance to contribute, to use their brains and their NDS to make something great. Now that's a future I can get behind. A country that invests in its people, that encourages hard work and innovation. That's a recipe for success, not some quick fix that'll leave us with empty pockets and a belly full of nothing.
Finding common ground will right everyone. Hold on a sec. This UBI debate between Dr. King and Mr. Ford is getting a little spicy, and us regular folks are caught in the middle. You know, the middle class, the folks just trying to live a decent life. We want to pay the bills, take care of our families, maybe even dream a little about a vacation or that side hustle we've been thinking about. But right now, it feels like we're stuck on a hamster wheel, spinning faster and faster just to stay afloat. Dr. King brings up a good point with this UBI thing. Let's face it, there are way too many people stuck in jobs that barely pay the rent. A guaranteed income, kind of like a supercharged hike, could be a game changer. With a little breathing room, folks could finally afford childcare, that extra class, or the certification they need to land a better paying gig. We're talking a stronger workforce, people. Businesses win, the economy wins, and heck, maybe we even get a little peace of mind knowing our neighbors can put food on the table. It's a win-win, right? Now, Mr. Ford, we hear you. Hard work is important, that feeling of accomplishment after a good day's work. We all crave it. But listen, the system ain't exactly working for everyone right now. When people are drowning in debt, worried about the next meal, it's hard to think about innovation or chasing that big dream. How many hidden vingos are out there, stuck in boring jobs, the creativity trap because they can afford to take a chance? A basic income, like what they tried in Finland, could be the safety net that unleashes a wave of innovation. Imagine a world where artists, inventors, and dreamers can finally focus on their passions, enriching all of us with their talents. Look, Mr. Ford, we get your inflation worries. Venezuela, yikes, not a good example. But Finland showed us there might be a better way. Funding UBI through a mix of existing taxes, not just printing money, seems a lot more responsible. Plus, with everyone having a little more financial breathing room, wouldn't that actually boost the economy? People spending more, businesses thriving, sounds pretty peaceful to me. The truth is, UBI probably won't be a magic solution. We might need to tweak it a bit, maybe add some incentives to keep people motivated, some support for education and starting businesses. But the bottom line is, UBI has the potential to create a society where everyone has a shot at a good life. A society where people can contribute their talents, chase their dreams, and feel secure enough to take a chance. That's the kind of peaceful life we're all looking for, right? A life where hard work is rewarded, innovation flourishes, and everyone has the opportunity to contribute and thrive. Let's find a way to make that happen. Let's bridge the gap between security and opportunity. Because in the end, a healthy and peaceful life for all of us depends on it.
Now, the way this analysis is written, it doesn't quite capture the full symphony of my original message. But the heart of it is there, the dream of a more just and prosperous society. With a little more precision, we can turn this analysis into a powerful song for change. Overall score is 7.
Look, I ain't against helping folks out, but a handout ain't the answer. We gotta find a way to give folks a chance to work hard, to better themselves, and contribute something real. That's the American way, and that's the only way we're gonna build a future that's strong and innovative. My score is 5.